Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video, and we are flying out the Harrier Gr7 against the MLD. So let's thank our members over Lenny 11B, Cots, and Crazy Bull, and let's thank all the Foxman members, all the Fishman members, and also, his name is Toilet in the Discord, but he's Pine, I think it's Pies, on in-game, which is one of my moderators of the Discord and a friend of mine that is helping out with this video today. So shout out for him for flying out the MLD. And yeah, we are flying out the Harrier Gr7, a very interesting aircraft, and it has some crazy maneuverability abilities like this one. Like, it's kind of weird. I got a lot of kills with this, just being kind of VTOL in a dogfight. And remember, this is not in any way like a scientific way to say that one aircraft is better than the other, but still, and we have also, remember that we have the gentleman's agreement that even some people actually said in the comments I think it was the last dogfight video that I did, that we just are removing the head-on passes, obviously, from the dogfights because it's kind of a luck thing, so it doesn't really matter. It depends much more on the cannon speed and stuff like that. So yeah, it's more of a luck thing than anything else. But yeah, and we are flying out, as I said, the Harrier Gr7. It's an aircraft that is completely different from anything else, especially different from the Harriers that we already seen. You know, it's not by any means a normal Harrier. You know, it has way more power. It turns way better. It has day 9Ls, which helps a lot. And yeah, the one thing that I noticed is that even though it turns very well, you have to be careful with one thing. I basically died for that here. And that's just the amount of energy that you lose when using the engine on the, downwards position, you know. You have to keep that in mind in a dogfight, even though it makes you turn a lot better, you know. You will have eventually a limited amount of energy, and it will make you kind of stall. So you do just have to be careful, you know. It's one of those things. And as you're going to see in many occasions, the one of the best things about this aircraft is the cannons. They are kind of like a laser gun. They're so fast, and they basically don't have any bullet drop. So yeah, you do have to be careful with the ammo count. We are using unlimited fuel and unlimited ammo here, but still, it's not unlimited, but it resupplies, right? And it is just one of those cannons that the muzzle velocity is amazing, but the rate of fire is also amazing, but you only have 200 rounds total, so it's kind of complicated. And as you see, you can do kind of crazy stuff here with this. Obviously, you cannot aim properly, so the aircraft is just kind of wobbling around, and it's really hard to aim when you are in kind of this VTOL situation, you know, so you do really need to be careful with that. But it is an aircraft that, as I said, the same problem that I did there, just lost completely all the energy that I had. And yeah, it's not an aircraft that it has unlimited energy, you know. But the thing is, if you just put it a little bit afterwards, you know, the angle of the engine, it will be fine. To be honest, it will be kind of fine. You know, it's not something that completely changes the game. You know, it doesn't make you stall more or anything like that. It's just that you have to be a little bit careful. Obviously, we are putting it in a very artificial kind of situation here in this 1v1. So you are kind of in a weird position here. Normally, you will not have such intense dogfights in normal gameplays because normally there is just enormous furballs, and normally you're fighting, I don't know, 5 enemies at the same time against together with a lot of friends. So yeah, but as you see, the VTOL makes you kind of weird in the way that you aim, but you can eventually try to aim with it and get kills, you know. Just be careful. Because as you're going to see in, I think it's this next one, I ended up dying because of that. And it's a thing that I thought I had it under control, but It's just that in the heat of the moment, you think that the VTOL is just kind of, you're just kind of gliding around a little bit, and then the aircraft just loses all of its energy and stalls out, you know. And if you are near the ground, yeah, you're going to die. So yeah, it's a kind of a, you have to use the VTOL to actually be better in a dogfight, but not too much that it will just make you a helicopter. So there's kind of that point to be made, you know. Obviously, I think the MLD is one of the, I mean, the worst aircraft that you can face, in the meaning of that the aircraft is so good. And as you see here, I'm just in a VTOL position. I'm just, you know, vertically hovering. So yeah, it's too much, you know. So you do have to be careful with that. Um, and when it's that slow, it kind of becomes a little bit sluggish. And as you see here, sometimes if you are not careful, you will not have the power to just go around on that approach. So yeah, that was completely my mistake. But still, it's a feature that it has to be used correctly. Not that I am using correctly, as you saw, but if used correctly, it can beat even one of the most powerful aircraft in a dogfight ever, which is the MLD. I even have to do another dogfight uh, with the MLD against the F-14 again. It's been a while, but they are very, very similar. I plan to do some more dogfights with the J7 as well, which is an amazing dogfighter, and with the Kafir and Mirage 2000 and stuff like that. So make sure to just check that out when it's released. But yeah, and as you see, even in a rate fight, you are not able to maintain a good position against the MLD. The MLD has such a good AOA that it is very, very hard to just actually get him, you know. And obviously you have the problems when facing in a BVR manner as well, or with missiles as well, you know, because the MLD is kind of a problematic aircraft if you don't have any BVR to face, you know. Here we are using just missiles, just to have a quick look on how that would look like. But yeah, the MLD has a little bit less of an advantage over here, just because it didn't receive the R60M yet. So yeah, the AIM-9L obviously it's all aspect, and you can even get, like, I got a lock with the AIM-9L from like 4 kilometers and something. So a lot of people say that this sensor is not correct in the AIM-9L, but to be honest, it is very much correct. That's basically what it is in the manual. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there are a couple of people that have said that they have proof about that, and they are being reported in the forums. But I still think the AIM-9L is kind of realistic right now. Obviously, as you saw in the last shot there, I mean, if it was an R60M here, it would be a hard shot to do, but you would have a chance. But in an AIM-9L, it just takes too long to actually accelerate, so you cannot do anything. And there was the sun as well, so it's problematic, you know. And you ended up having the same problem that I did before. The MLD will always have more energy than you, so you really need to be careful with that. I think I crashed into the ground in this one. Yeah, my mistake. So as you saw, it's, yeah, not an aircraft that I'm particularly good at, to be honest, but still. And yeah, here we have all out, so you can use anything that you want. So he's using the R-24s. And yeah, a very dangerous missile. Obviously, because of that, I just need to go cold. Because if I try to go hot again and try to launch an AIM-9L, I mean, the R-24 is already coming, and there's not enough time to actually evade the missile. So yeah, there is a problem with that as well. Obviously, there's not much more common ground between these aircraft to be comparable to each other, but I just found to be very interesting to see how a Harrier Gr7 performs against one of the top dogs of the game, obviously. So yeah, we had to do this type of gameplay as well. Here again, he fires another R-24. I have 700 flares and chaffs, so yeah. So yeah, and it ended up being, I mean, that's the only thing that you can do, basically. That's why I think I already made that point on the J7 video and some other videos that I'm posting. But that's the thing about this type of aircraft, you know. you are kind of limited on being on a defensive position all the time, and then you have to reverse the role that it's happening right now, and then attack the target. So yeah, because you don't have the BVR, the enemy will always put you in a defensive position, and that will be one of the reasons that I kind of don't like aircraft that don't have BVR. I know, of course, BVR is not that effective against some aircraft anyway, and I mean, having R60Ms and A9Ls and dogfighting capabilities of an aircraft and yourself could be a very, very good thing. But even with that, the BVR will, even if the BVR doesn't kill the guy, it will put him in a defensive position, and that just completely changed the game, you know. So you do really need to be careful against all sorts of BVR. He died there because his pilot passed out, but still. But yeah, it's a problem that most aircraft that don't have BVR will face. And the more we go into the future with War Thunder and more modern aircraft, the more we will have this type of thing. Aircraft that, I mean, even though they are top tier and they have good missiles, if they don't have a BVR, they will have some kind of problem, you know. And yeah, but still, as I said, I'm a defensive and I have to do the work to reverse the roles, you know. Obviously he has way more energy than I do, so he overshoots, obviously. And yeah, as you see, the M9L doesn't have the ability to just do anything in a dogfight like that. But still, it was a worth shot to try to get it, you know. And then we went for the kind of the VTOL kind of line of thinking again. So stalling the aircraft a bit, and as you see, you can do some crazy stuff here. I mean, almost got him there, but I didn't. I mean, it was going to be the coolest shot ever, but still. And as you see, I'm just stall out. I need a little bit of speed, so I try to just level out a little bit, get a little bit of speed, 300, so that I can actually make it a turn here. And yeah, it's the main problem with this aircraft, beyond not having BVR and stuff like that. And now I am VTOL, as you see, and yeah, then you can actually try to get him like a helicopter. So it's kind of fun and kind of funny that this can be a way that you can kill the guy, but it's one of those things that it's not very realistic, you know. It's just not very realistic. And here we have the last battle, so yeah. But let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, do you think the Harrier Gr7 is amongst the best aircraft in the game or not? I think in some areas it is. As you saw in the dogfight, it can hold its ground depending on the situation on a dogfight against the MLD, which is one of the best aircraft out there. There are some aircraft that will turn better than you, but then you have better missiles sometimes, and yeah, that's the cool part about the game. And just look at the amount of flares that you can deliver. I was just messing with the flares there, but yeah, it's so many flares that this thing carries. To be honest, I think this thing shines much better in the ground role, you know, the air-to-ground role. But it's still a decent fighter and a very good multi-role aircraft in general. As a multi-role aircraft, it can be very, very capable. But yeah, it's one of those jack of all trades that they don't do anything particularly excellent, you know. So yeah. But let me know in the comments if you were surprised with these dogfights, if you want to see a specific dogfight. And yeah, very interesting and very different way of playing both aircraft, you know. I think they are very different aircraft from each other, so it makes it for a very, very fun and weird experience. So yeah, but I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I see you guys on the next one. And yeah, another mistake with the stall. And bye guys.